Welcome back, guys. Matt here from myrawintuition.com. I hope you guys are doing well, but I have some bad news for you. It may not last much longer. If you are on a plant-based or vegan diet, according to several news outlets over the past week, we are heading towards a choline crisis. Headlines state, vegan diet risks insufficient intake of nutrient critical for brain health. Meat-free diet lacks vital nutrient for healthy brain. Plant-based diets risk dumbing down the next generation, nutritionist warns. Could we be overlooking a potential choline crisis in the United Kingdom? Suggested move to plant-based diets risk worsening brain health nutrient deficiency. So this is really a laughable concern. It's a non-issue, but we're going to dive into this a little bit and we're going to discuss it so that we have the education that we need in case it comes up in the future. So what is choline in the first place? Choline is a critical nutrient needed for neurocognition, lipid metabolism, liver function, homocysteine regulation. It's found within our cell membranes, so it is an important nutrient. However, it requires no special attention if you're eating a well-balanced vegan or plant-based diet. Now, it's important to note also that this is all coming from an opinion piece that was published in the British Medical Journal. So this wasn't based off of any original research or some new data that came out. This is just a hypothesis that a Dr. Herbeshire, who sits on the Meat Advisory Board, whose purpose is to provide information about meat and a healthy diet. She also has been funded by Agriculture and Horticultural Development Board, representing interests in beef, lamb, pork, and dairy producers. So that is something to consider when you're getting your information from somebody who has a vested interest in backing up these animal products. All right. I also think it's interesting that in this article, a vegan diet may dumb down future kids, expert warns. Now that's interesting when we have studies comparing vegetarian and vegan kids to omnivorous kids and meat-eating kids. So let's hear what Dr. Greger has said about this topic.
We've known for nearly 30 years that vegetarian children test smarter than omnivorous kids. First shown in a 1980 study by Tufts University, the IQ of vegetarian children was found to be about 16 points above average, and their mental age was a year ahead of the rest of their classmates. Of all the veg kids, the vegan kids appeared the smartest. The pediatricians, psychologists, they knew the veg kids were bright, but the researchers noted that they were puzzled that they were so much superior.
So there is no evidence or science to back up their claims that a plant-based or vegan diet can lower the IQ or dumb down our children, and we can look no further than the Academy of Nutrition and Dietetics, the largest organization of food and nutrition experts, who have stated a plant-based or vegan diet is adequate for all stages of life, including pregnancy and infants. So what these articles are claiming go against the science, and it is completely irresponsible for them to be putting this information out there without putting it into context, that this is an opinion piece and it's not based on science. So how much choline do we actually need? That is the question, and the thing is, there isn't a lot of data or research to give a real definitive answer. The Institute of Medicine has come out with recommendations of 550 milligrams a day for men and 425 milligrams a day for women. Now, the Institute of Medicine does recognize that deficiencies are rare. When I look at my diet, when I'm eating just a whole foods plant-based diet and my diet is raw, I'm getting right around 300 milligrams a day. Now, for me, I am completely comfortable with that. You can do your own research and determine how much you want to get, and if you want to include foods that are higher in choline, and you can do that by including foods like quinoa, cruciferous vegetables like broccoli, cauliflower, Brussels sprouts, lentils, beans, chickpeas, leafy greens, and other various vegetables and fruits like bananas, apples, etc. So there is choline in a variety of plant foods. The highest ones are the quinoa and the cruciferous vegetables, along with chickpeas and lentils. So if you're concerned about your choline levels, those are the foods that I would start with and go from there. So you might be wondering, how would I even know if I had a choline deficiency? Well, through my research, here are a few of the symptoms that you might experience if you have a choline deficiency. Fatty liver, increased liver enzymes, elevated creatine phosphokinase or CPK, which would lead to muscle deterioration. Babies can be born with neural tube defects. So it's not something that we want to be messing around with, but the fact is that deficiencies in choline are very rare. The reason why this is being brought into the conversation is because the egg industry needs something to boast their product and get you to believe that you need to buy eggs in order to be healthy and to avoid this terrible deficiency that not many people are even coming down with unless they're being fed through an IV for a long period of time. So this is similar to the meat industry boasting about protein and getting so much protein because it's so important for health and that you can't get that unless you eat meat, or the dairy industry boasting the calcium content of their products, saying that you can't get enough calcium unless you consume dairy products. You know, it's all the same tactic, and it is leading to poor health for many, many people. So what we should really be looking at is, what are the detrimental effects to having too much choline, and especially getting choline from products such as animal products that are full of cholesterol, saturated fat, heme iron, animal protein, all these different things that have shown to lead to negative health outcomes. So let's take a look at some of the issues with consuming choline from animal products.
But if we eat a lot of meat, poultry, fish, milk, cheese, eggs, we can foster the growth of bacteria that convert the choline and carnitine in these foods into TMA, trimethylamine, which can be oxidized into TMAO and wreak havoc on our arteries, increasing our risk of heart attack, stroke, and death. Harvard researchers took more than 1,000 men with early-stage prostate cancer and followed them for a couple years to see if there's anything in their diet associated with a resurgence of the cancer, such as spread to the bone. Compared to men who hardly ate any eggs, men who ate even less than a single egg a day had a significant twofold increase in the risk of prostate cancer progression. A plausible mechanism that may explain the association between eggs and prostate cancer progression is high dietary choline. Egg consumption is the determinant of how much choline you have in your blood, and higher blood choline has been associated with a greater risk of getting prostate cancer in the first place, so the choline in eggs may both increase one's risk of getting it and then having it spread, and also having it kill you.
So the evidence suggests getting your choline from whole plant foods and eating a variety of fresh fruits and vegetables versus getting it through animal products is the safest and healthiest way to maintain optimal choline levels. You reduce your TMAO and you reduce that risk for cancer, heart disease, stroke, all-cause mortality, etc. So I hope this was helpful, guys. I hope you learned something, and I hope it took away a little bit of the fear in case you were reading too much into these articles that came from potentially biased sources. So if you have any questions, leave them in the comments box down below. I'm going to leave links in the description box of this video, so check those out to learn a little bit more about this topic if you're interested. And until next time, guys, always follow your raw intuition.
Detoxify your mind and body. Be the change you want to see. Small steps towards living better. Small steps to where I want to be.